Yeah, hello and welcome to this new 25-10 rapid game. So let's see what we can do here. What to play? Can I do something a bit different? I could. Okay, let's play the Grunfeld and challenge myself a little bit with this opening that I don't know. White is very quickly dashing out the moves. So this is about what I know. Bishop g4, f3, knight a5. This is the old main line back from the 80s and 90s. I think nowadays they also play just bishop d7 here. There's also b6 if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'll shoot for bishop d7. And let's hope that my opponent is not just like dashing out moves and killing me. I really am not very knowledgeable here. Bishop d7 is preparing possible rook c8. Black is not afraid much of white taking on c5. Sometimes this can be an option though. Sometimes underestimated, that idea. It kills white's pawn structure. Yeah, he's playing it. It kills white's pawn structure, but on the other hand, it can also serve as gaining a little bit of space, controlling b6, d6, and so on. So what am I doing here? Just queen to c7. That looks like a normal reply. Yeah, I guess queen c7. I have to connect rooks, and the ideal scenario here for black is something like, I guess, moving something like e6, moving the rook, the f8 rook, then bishop f8 and getting the pawn back. If I manage that, I probably have a really good position. I wonder if knight a5 is part of that whole setup. Yeah, it kind of fits in there if I play knight a5. The bishop goes to b3. I think I'm also quite satisfied that the b file is closed. So bishop d3 looks completely wrong. So this one. So maybe rook d8, yeah? Rook d8, preparing that e6 business. What is happening after rook d8? Does he have something on f7 here? Don't see it. Rook fd8 for e6, bishop f8. It looks a little bit wrong to move the rook away from f8, somehow with f7 being under pressure. And I cannot take on b3. I mean, he will recapture with his pawn. But I mean, it's not that clear, but it's not really what I want to do. Maybe still this. I mean, the move that I was a little bit concerned about is f4, f5, but f4 now runs into this bishop discoveries. That I mean, bishop b5 in particular looks worrisome. Okay, so it's an interesting moment here. e6, f4, bishop f8, f5, bishop takes c5. Okay. E6, I wonder if there's some drawback with e6. On the dark squares, for example. But currently I don't see it. Bishop f4, I take c5. Yeah. e6, f4, bishop f8, f5. Bishop c5, takes. Yeah, white definitely has play there. But at the end of the sequence, I can take on b3 though. So probably this is okay. Bishop g5. I probably go rook e8, not allowing any bishop e7 ideas. Yeah, white now really has to think about this. If he doesn't, yeah, he plays a somewhat slow move. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can afford that so easily. So bishop f8, yeah, trying to get that back. Yeah, so it seems that the absolutely only plan that I know in this position is going to happen. After d takes c5, just getting the pawn back with that maneuver. And, well, if I just get it without any concrete issue, then I'm really happy with my position here. Yeah, so the rook somewhere. c8 or e8. Is that a difference? Rook on c8 looks more active in regards to the c3 pawn, so probably do that. Bishop g5, bishop f4. Bishop g5 to f4 now is an interesting idea. Because at this particular moment I cannot capture on c5 as d7 is hanging. So I have to go e5. E5 he can actually take. Oh yeah. And then rook d7. That's unfortunate. Wow, that's very unfortunate. E5 takes, rook d7. The knight takes, queen takes, actually renews the threat on f7. Yeah, it's pretty awful. But queen d8 also looks awful with the d file. I mean, okay, I don't quite see yet how it is going to be completely refuted. Wow. So I needed to go to e8, yeah? So then I have queen c8, maybe. Even then bishop d6. Okay, is queen to c6 a playable move, or is that completely bad? Wow. Yeah, e5 really seems entirely unplayable. Bishop takes, queen takes, rook d7 looks absolutely awful. Queen c6 also looks awful, but queen c6, knight d4. It should work. Okay, I have to. I don't like to, but I have to. Yeah, maybe just bishop d6 now in this position. Bishop d6, that also introduces the knight d4 idea. Knight d4 now, I think I can take c5, and he's got no particularly great way to exploit that. Yeah, bishop d6 is just good. I don't see, sorry, don't see a good reply to that move. Yep. So if I take it, he's going to take with the pawn. And it's not clear how I ever get it back. Probably I don't. Well, there are some chances to get it back, because the pawn is not so easily supported. But take it, pawn takes, queen c5, at least e5 is not, it's not easily available. The thing is, he also, yeah, might just have e5 here. Yeah, an idea is always b6, just to give that pawn. I mean, c takes, a takes, this kind of thing. Well, he cannot take, but let's say he takes on f8 and takes on b6. White is just a pawn down, pawn up. But not so easy to win the position because of black's pressure on the a and c pawn. So b6 is not, yeah, it's not downright terrible. Tja. Yeah, I wonder if there's some better move here than taking. I mean, I don't want to take, but it's very difficult here to to do anything. So I cannot attack that c5 pawn easily. That is the issue. Knight on a5. It's not doing much. Wow, yeah, it's really a bad position. I can maybe play bishop e8. Queen a6, this kind of thing, getting the queen there. It's all nice and good, but it's still a big pawn. Yeah, anyway, I have to do something eventually. Yeah, that went terribly wrong. That rook d2 c8 move, yeah, that was far too quickly played, this one. I just didn't pay much attention there that he's got bishop f4 back. And e5 then fails due to bishop e5. Pretty awful. So he went e5, yeah, okay. So what to do now? I wonder if I should move that bishop sometimes, but sometime to bishop g7 or something, or bishop h6, trying to claim that the bishop on d6 is pretty but doesn't do much. That's a pretty difficult thing to claim. If I take on d6 here, by the way, yeah, take it, and I guess the c pawn will take. Well, I cannot even play queen c5. There's d7 then. I don't see a good move here. Looks pretty awkward. Maybe I can knight c6, c6, e7. Something like that. Knight c6, e7, f5. Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty awful game this up to here. Black might have bishop to b5. Bishop b5 and then a bishop to c4, something like that. I mean, I'm not quite sure what it is doing, but it's something that I can try. Okay, moves the king to the side. So bishop b5 to c4, maybe. Let's see, on e8 it's not exactly brilliant. I mean, on c4 it's also not making a huge difference, but at least it has some kind of activity and tries to stop any pressure on the b3, e6, f7. This is diagonal. Oh, it takes. That's a surprise. Pleasant surprise, actually. Why taking? I thought you would just keep the tension there. Okay, it's still not, yeah, it's not great for me, but at least I have some kind of idea here. Knight a3. Very simple idea, but yeah, you never know. Sometimes the simple ideas are rather effective. Okay, so this one, knight c7 is on the agenda. And knight a3 probably does not work. You can take and take d7. Well, knight c7, I can take and play knight a3. That is not really a threat. The thing is, what am I doing with that knight there in the long run? Queen e4 is a move that white might have. Yeah, how do I play this? Queen to e4. Maybe I have to... Nah, that also doesn't help. b6, I was thinking b6, but he has queen e4 anyway. Yeah. I don't know where to go. Maybe I have to go b6. No way around that. b6, knight c7, takes. Knight a3, queen e4 is a very annoying line. I don't have many squares there. Queen c6. Yeah, I don't know. Don't see a really good move here. Queen a4. I thought a6. Hoping for some counterplay. like queen c4, a b5, queen b5, rook a2, but b7 is hanging. That probably is a good line. Yeah, that is a good line. And a6, he can also go, no, knight d4 he cannot play. Okay, he's going there. Here I thought knight a5, I mean, without much enthusiasm, but... Oh wait, I can actually also take d6. This is something that I should look at. Bishop d6. Is that so bad? Bishop d6, knight takes. Knight takes. Do I have an alternative? Knight a5 was my original intention for b6. Yeah, it's pretty awful anyway. So bishop d6, knight d6. Knight d6, c takes d6, and then b7 is hanging, and d7 is in the air. That probably won't work. So let's go back. Yeah, if he goes queen a4 or queen b4, I go b6. Okay. Meaning I cannot take. I can still go. If I go to c4, it's going to b4. Yeah, well, if I go b6 now, bishop c8, sorry, bishop f8, I will have to take with the rook. Pretty awful. Yeah, but come on, it's probably not avoidable. Yeah, bishop f8, king takes. He takes on b6 with a check and wins decisive material. Yeah, I'm quite clearly not happy with my position, but we, yeah, it's also not necessary to be in complete despair. If in this situation with c takes b6, a takes b6, I still have play against those three pawns, e5, c3, and a2, and this is not a full compensation, but it is not so easy for white to play this position. I mean, things didn't go well, but it's important to not be too pessimistic if you still feel you have some kind of play available. So here I'm kind of wondering, why is he thinking here? Is there a special idea that I don't see? Something like knight d4, I probably have queen to e4. Yeah, so he's going to d4. Knight c4 is a move, but he will answer with an attack on my knight. And then it didn't help at all. So, queen e4, I guess. Moving back won't help. Rook e1 is not a big deal, I think. I have queen d5. And yeah, f3. I mean, I can still go to b7. No, then he'll take the knight. Anyway, so here I cannot take with the king, have to take with the rook. And at least now there are some things that I attack as well. e5, for example. Okay, here knight c4 or taking. I think I'm taking, or yeah, I think I'm taking. Okay, so keeps that, but I can go here, right? Intending knight discoveries and then looking at the a2 pawn. No, I think I'm okay here. Would be I don't think that white has an easy life here with this pawn. I have decent counterplay ideas. Okay, if I take a2 here, what is the big deal? Probably no big deal. If he takes b6, I can even capture an f2. Okay, knight c4 is also a move, but then he might move the a pawn. Okay. Let's grab. So I've got one pawn back. Taking there, I can take b2. I'm a bit sorry. I can take f2. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, now he's offering a draw. Okay. Don't quite see why exactly. I mean, I understand that he didn't like so much what happened in the last couple of moves, but still, there's no big reason to go for a draw. So I can take f2. Is there a reason not to do that? Rook f1. Yeah, but knight takes e6 is not a huge issue. My knight on a5 looks bad, but it can go to c4 with a tempo. That's of course possible here as well. f2 is a pretty good pawn to take, actually. Okay, let's grab it. Oh, I didn't consider that move at all. I have to go to h4 now here, right? Rook b8. Nah, that rook that do the stuff. So I have to go here. I can also go to f4. This is important. Let's not be too quick there. f4 is actually the more interesting square, as it keeps an eye on f1 for possible back rank business. Yeah. Now I have the better structure now, of course. He's got two split pawns there, but my knight is a little bit off on c4. Okay, knight c4 now, or... Yeah, where is he going with the queen? I'm attacking e5. Let's do it. e5 is attacked, and there are ideas with the knight d2 and some point, or knight e3. It's not so easy to make work, but I mean, if I just can get the knight from a5, let's say, to d5, the position would yeah, improve immensely. And also easily to an advantage. Yeah, it's I mean, it's clear that I can try now here, be with this better structure. Yeah, and he's got some bad squares that he can go to, running into forks. e5 is also under fire. I mean, queen b5, there's knight a3, for example. That's not helping. Queen c5, with rook c8. That looks... Yeah, he's got knight c6, maybe. Angling for some forks on his own. So what to do? Yeah, well, rook c8, knight c6 is awkward. Knight to e7 is quite an annoying resource. Yeah, knight c6 is a bit awful. So any forceful moves here with my knight? Would just love to get it to d5. Knight e3 is not working, unfortunately. Can even just take knight e6, I think. And he's got rook f1 coming. Yeah, queen c5 was a good reply. Yeah, rook f1 is bad. I mean, if I like rook c8, knight c6 moves the king, he's got rook f1. This is really awful. Yeah, knight d2. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with that move. I don't see a good reply here. If I go knight e3, knight takes e6. Yeah, pawn takes e6, queen takes e3. Yeah, that has good chances to draw. Maybe. But knight e3 also, I mean, it looks kind of shaky anyway. Knight e3, knight takes e6. Is there some other possible reply? My queen hangs, so queen f5 maybe. Queen f5. His rook is attacked. That's actually possible. Let's do that. Yeah, but also that knight e6, f takes e6, that endgame is pretty okay. Knight e6, f takes, queen e3, queen takes e3, rook takes e3, rook a2. I mean, nothing great. Okay, this move I didn't consider at all, because knight d5 I thought is just good. Isn't it? What is wrong with the move? Rook. He moves the rook and sacrifices or something. I don't see it. I can also start with the rook move. Then knight c6. Okay, so let's still go here. Or is c4, is that I always thought c4 there should be knight c3. And white is kind of uncoordinated. That looks wrong. d4 is loose and so on. I mean, this is an awfully unconcrete way to to see it, but I didn't consider that at all, that he just allows the knight to come to d5. I'm threatening rook c8 now, yeah? Rook c8, knight c6, rook a6, and white is probably in bad shape, but he will play some kind of tempo move now anyway, something that attacks my queen or something along these lines. Yeah, this is a move. So queen g4, I guess, or g5. That's an interesting question there. Yeah, let's go to g5. Don't have much time anyway. c4, knight f4 looks good, with knight d3 and knight h3 threatening. Knight f3, I might just play queen to e7. Note that this is 10-second increment, so okay, yeah. So I'm not just going to lose on time because I had invested time earlier. I can, with relatively quick play, I can
draw offered.
No. What on earth do you want? I just have, I mean, if you're not getting huge pressure on the f-pawn, you're just lost here with your structure. So I'm not going to make, going to accept the draw here. Yeah, I lost this a bit much, but he's in trouble with his weak pawns. It's just a matter of him getting activity, yeah, with knight to g5 or things like that. Okay, so he tries for rook b7, I guess. I go here. Okay, knight c6, there's rook f4, so I have to allow a trade. So what now? Do I... if I just go knight c6, knight a5, attacking that pawn... yeah... can do that, but... I think I'll start with this and rook and knight c6. Difficult for him then to ever move anything. The problem here is that I have g6 played a little bit. If he goes like g4, g5. yeah. Let's go over to a3. Yeah, you know what's not so easy if we here and rook c3. What is your move? What are White's moves now? Okay, he's going back. That's maybe also the more prudent decision. In many cases now, cannot go c5 anyway. If he moves the knight, I have rook h3, so I'm going to get the king into the game.
Check.
A check on b4. Where is he going?
Check.
King e4, there's rook c2. White is somewhat overextended here. Rook d4, there's knight c2. So how do you defend this now? King d4. Let's see. It's not so easy to play. I mean, only issue is he's got lots more time here. How to do that? Yeah, it's not so easy for him to play this position. Rook c3, knight c6 check, king d3. No, he's going there. So,
Draw offered.
come on. This is getting annoying here. I'm not taking a draw here. You should have understood by now. There's also really no reason to. The position is still kind of interesting. So
check.
Let's go here.
Time warning.
Rook a5, there's... It's difficult, huh? Yeah, he's got rook b4. I have no clear way here to do anything. Knight c6 maybe, and then trying to switch attention to the e5 pawn. Knight c6, rook b6 as rook c4, knight c6, rook b5, rook c3 or rook f2, something like that. Yeah, this is interesting. It's got this check here. I was actually thinking I could go knight b7, but that he can just take, of course. That could be a problem. Yeah, no, I didn't see that knight b7 was not possible.
Check.
King b6 now? No, he's going there. Yeah, he's got king b6 coming, unfortunately. Amongst others. So, yeah, knight b5 or knight d4, knight b5 was good. I didn't pay enough attention to that possibility. Absolutely didn't. That's a bit bad to lose that game. Completely unnecessary loss. Knight d6 now wins pretty clearly. I cannot take g5. Only hope is that I can maybe trade some stuff. But okay, it's losing. Okay, he can check and go king c6 for a mate. But check. I had a defense anyway. Yeah, okay, that's mate on rook d7.
Black resigns.
I think it was okay for me to decline the draws because black is just better here. But I didn't play it right.
Check.
I'm kind of interested what I did wrong.
Check.
Okay, this was interesting at least. I'm not sure about it, but it
Check.
was interesting to play like that. Now I get the king over here. Yeah. Knight d4. Yeah, that knight b5 is very annoying. I was just assuming I can check him here on knight b7, so that the king has to go to b5. But of course he just takes it, and I'm losing my rook. That was the problem here. Now the engine actually gives this is still playable. I don't
Check.
necessarily need to lose, but it looks bad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I need to get into this. Maybe I have to improve around here. Around here I'm definitely just better. I mean, without any argument here. It's just not clear to me how I should do it. It's not much, but those pawns are just weak, so my rook is active. The engine gives me a slight edge, 0.3, so not much, but enough to never lose. Knight a5 it wants to play. Yeah, maybe it's difficult to win it. Yeah, good. Queen g4 is clearly better for black. Yeah, maybe I was happy with the queens off, with time ticking down, because it's a position that, well, I mean, unless you play it as badly as I did, it's a position that you can only win and never lose. This is, however, much stronger, threatening rook c8, rook a4. Yeah, here black is clearly better. Engine is on minus 0.8. It's also difficult for white to move here. It's not easy to find a playable move. The engine gives something like this. Yeah, with a clear advantage for black. I'm not completely convinced, but that's clearly better than going into the endgame. This endgame is better for black, but it's not the best possible way to play. It's also questionable if I did this right. I mean, I probably lost a move somewhere here. Could have saved a tempo, rook d8 or something like that. But it's not bad. I mean, according, if you take the circumstances with the time into account, I'm still kind of okay with what I did. And this also cannot be bad.
Check.
Maybe rook a4. Maybe rook a4, rook c3. Something like that. Yeah, the pawns are weak, but he's active enough, so it's not a substantial thing here.
Check. Check.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that this should be good, but
check.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. Yeah, knight b5 is incredibly problematic.
Check.
And here I'm rook e2 I can still play. That is the move that finally loses. Rook e2 I can still play. And the engine is just giving white a slight edge. Well, that's very theoretical possibility with no time. Yeah, and now my knight is trapped. Okay, I would like to briefly check if he could have killed me earlier because of that really misplayed opening. So yeah, I was actually thinking that I'm in very good shape. This is just a bad move. I should go here. That is much better. And here I have good chances to get this back. Bishop f4 now. I can answer with e5, for example. Yeah, that's a pretty bad decision. I didn't see bishop f4 beforehand. No, and I cannot go e5. This is the problem. He will just take it. And I'm collapsing on f7. Tja. Yeah, he really let me somehow out of this with a couple of decisions there. I don't know, that looks still bad. And somewhere around here, I think F took. It dwindles down here, the engine evaluation. Not sure how bad this is, in fact. I mean, this kind of structure isn't so bad, as all 3 pawns that he has are weak. Yeah, that was one possibility. Knight c4 was also okay. Here I'm definitely okay. It's just a pawn. It's no other, and I will get stuff back. Yeah, the real problem was that this took me 5 minutes to figure out that this is actually good, and he just played this, which is just a bad move. Yeah? He cannot allow me to go to d5, but he still played it, and quickly as usual. Yeah, and after that, I'm just pretty comfortable. But it was the problem with the time later that I spent 4 minutes there for the move. That was really far too long. Yeah, I was also trying to figure out if I can do this, but knight c6, king g7, rook f1 is just not good. Yeah, and here I can also go here. It's another engine suggestion that does make quite some sense. Trying to take on d4. But knight d5 is a logical move, of course. Yeah, here queen g4, that's a very good improvement. And maybe the one moment in the game where I really could have gotten something. The way it went, that endgame, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as I thought with the weak pawns. Okay, well, thanks for watching.